Hey everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Navdeep Kamboj, the co-founder of Mingout, which is making dating meaningful. Navdeep is a graduate of IIM Calcutta and has worked for Times Group before starting his own venture. Hey Navdeep, welcome to ELI.
Hi Priya, hi everyone who are watching this.
Navdeep, I would request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Sure. So, I am Navdeep Kamboj. After graduating from IIM Calcutta in 2013, I worked with Times Group, where I was spearheading revenue management across different verticals, and did this for a couple of years. Then I was part of campaign-led solutions team. I handled it for another 2 years, post which I, thought, okay, it's time to do something of my own. And basically my experience in these two domains helped me in spearheading the sales and operations vertical at my startup, which is Mingout, which we are going to discuss more in detail.
Sure. So tell us what is Mingout, and before discussing about Mingout, can you help us set a context on how dating works, especially online or digital way of dating works in India?
Okay, so see, the existing set of apps, all these traditional apps like Tinder, Bumble, they just see people as faces and not as humans.
Hmm.
Like you have to, for guys especially, you have to swipe like thousands of times to finally able to land a match.
Hmm.
And
Right.
again, even after you land a match, there is a constant struggle of, maintain a conversation, do some small talk and whatnot.
Right.
And when you always have to set an agenda,
Hmm.
uh, and by the time something happens, the date, the charm of the match already fizzles out. There are new matches and someone is already distracted.
Hmm.
So what we at Mingout want to do is, uh, our vision is to basically help people who actually want to date and not just connect and match on dating apps. So
Okay.
we have already organized more than 300 plus dates in 2021, and we are aggressively working on the product. On Mingout, you are, not just a face, you are an experience, something which is, you bring along an experience with yourself.
Hmm.
An experience can be anything. It can be a fun activity you would be doing on your first date.
Okay.
So basically, we are, taking the effort you would want to take, make to set an agenda for that first date. We just want to make things very simple. Uh, you come on the app, you find the experiences or activities you would want to go on the first date.
Hmm.
Then you would match with people who are interested in those similar activities. Then you match, the agenda is set, finally it's a date. We want to keep things simple.
Hmm.
We don't, make promises of soulmates. We don't suggest that you will be telling your grandkids about Mingout.
Hmm.
All we are saying is you will have better first dates and you start off on a nice note. That's pretty much what we are trying to, solve.
Okay. Uh, I'm very curious. How are you uh, bringing out the initial set of users to your platform?
Okay, so just to give you a brief background, like Mingout was a side hustle which started in 2018,
Hmm.
and it started on a piece of paper. That's pretty much about it. I don't have any sort of tech background, so all I did was jotted down points on a piece of paper. That's it. Now we are going strong, and we are a 17-member team working day in and day out from an apartment based out of Gurgaon.
Hmm.
So, uh, as far as reaching out to existing users, I am ably supported by my co-founders Devanshu and Harshveer. Harshveer, he is an influencer by himself, and that's pretty much the main channel through which we are acquiring our initial set of users.
Hmm.
And it's still the product is still a work in progress. We are making iterations on a weekly basis and rolling out new releases and interacting with our existing users, doing interviews with them, and whatever suggestions, feedbacks, uh, the same are incorporated back while developing the app.
Right. So, one key challenge for any dating app, and I was doing some research on how Tinder started,
Mm.
was they have a chicken and egg problem. So if there are not enough women, then men wouldn't come to the platform for, because they have to see enough women pool to choose from or swipe from, if I may say so. Uh, b- and women again, it's the same thing. If they don't see a pool of people who are already there on the platform, they wouldn't come also. So how do you solve this challenge as a at your company or at your venture?
Yeah, so the situation you are talking about is more valid to the traditional apps where you are just matching people on the basis of uh, the geography. Basically, on the basis of distance, you are matching people. Here, we are offering dates to people. So for us, it's not a bigger issue to bring in more people, and so that the system starts working automatically. Here
Mhm.
we are listing down dates and events related to those dates,
Okay.
and people are attracted to those particular events or experiences around themselves.
Hmm. Okay.
So this is how acquiring users is not that great a challenge to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do we monetize our platform? At least as of now, how are we monetizing, and what plans we have to monetize?
Okay, so all I'm sure you must have read that all these existing platforms, they monetize through subscription fees and advertising
Correct.
revenue
Yeah.
which they are generating through their platforms. We don't intend to use any of those in the initial phase.
Hmm.
We monetization is not actually our goal as of now. It's
Okay.
more about giving the right experience to the user. They feel great while coming on the app and attending our virtual events which we have started conducting on our app.
Hmm.
uh, Going forward, what I see is monetization will come through these events only. We'll be starting ticketing of these events on our app exclusively, and all these events, they will be hosted on the app itself. So this will become our primary source of revenue in future. Obviously, advertising is something which will happen automatically once we have a substantial user base. But the ticketing of the events and the revenue generated through them will be our primary source of monetization when we roll out the all the events, like when we do the proper marketing of those events.
Okay.
Right now,
I,
we are more focused on getting to the product market fit.
okay. And now that we don't have a substantial revenue in place, how are we supporting our current operation, which would include technology and people who work for it and the operations?
So, for initial couple of years, it was totally bootstrapped,
Okay.
and uh, like now, like into 2021, we raised friends and family round in like beginning of the year, and we are in like almost we will be closing our seed round very soon. The
Okay.
news will be out. Uh, like we will be declaring it very soon.
Okay. Um, Also, if you can tell us a little bit about what are the different tweaks that you have been doing to achieve product market fit.
Okay, so we like whatever vision we have, we try to implement a couple of features on a regular basis, new ideas, how and see what all traction we are getting through those ideas. Saturdays was one feature which we tested last year during COVID time. It was totally manual. It was through our Instagram handle, and it achieved success. We conducted more than 300 dates last year uh, on Zoom calls, just
Okay.
like we are having it right now. And that was a feature which was gaining traction. And now we have, made it automatic. Everything is automated. The entire Saturdays feature. We are conducting dates on a weekly basis, 15 to 20 dates every Saturday at a definite time. It's either 4 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and all these events are listed on our app. Then another concept which we are working on is artist-based dates, where an influencer or an artist will be moderating the date. There will be like a number of dates happening parallelly, and there will be an influencer or artist who will be moderating and performing.
Okay.
So it's a live dating concert or a show, which you can say. This is what we are working on currently.
Okay. Tell us
All
about
this
the.
happens. Okay,
Go
you
on.
go
Go
on.
on.
So we keep on taking user interviews, keep asking and poking our users. Okay, what all you like, what all you didn't like, what all changes do you want, whatever suggestions they give us, we get together and try to implement whatever is best for the product.
Okay. Also, if you can tell us a little bit about your team, like how many, uh, who is your co-founder? How did you find your co-founder, and a bit about the
Yeah.
core team who work alongside you to execute the vision.
Okay. So I have two co-founders, Devanshu and Harshveer. So both of them are from IIM Calcutta. So there's a common thread between all of us. See, co-founder, there's no clear-cut JD to answer or to find a co-founder. Whosoever who is at same wavelength, or has same passion about the idea or the problem you are trying to solve, we just hire him or get him on board. Devanshu, he was working with me in Times of India. Uh, those were the times when we both of us were on a dating spree.
Mm.
And in fact, Ashwi too, all three of us were on dating spree. We used to go out on dates, discuss insights with each other. And that's how we stumbled upon this idea. Okay, people are not getting enough dates. It's just the matches. And how can we get people to date more in a
Mm.
more better and meaningful way?
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you divide the responsibilities among the co-founders? Who handles what?
Yeah. So I take care of the sales and operations part
Mm.
and alliances. Harshvi, he takes care of the marketing, and Devanshu, he takes care of the product. So all three of us basically are trying to play on our strengths. Devanshu comes from a sort of tech background, and he has shipped, products during his stint with BCCL also.
Okay.
So that's why he's taking care of the product part. Harshveer, he is an out and all marketeer. Like you can follow him. He has a huge Insta following,
Mm.
and I take care of the sales operations. What are features to implement? How can we monetize them? Bringing in alliances with the offline date partners, where we are executing our date plans.
Okay. And how did you find the core team who is the level two after you to work on the real stuff on the execution part?
Again, it's networking. I would say networking is an underrated skill.
Mm.
Like people, they don't really appreciate, interacting with people from different walks of life. So initially we made a lot of mistakes. We tend to rely on the third party vendors to do our tech or designing, but we realized it later, okay, no, we have to have an in-house team of our own to handle the tech part especially. So one of our first hires was through Bumblebees only.
Mm.
We kept using it, and we finally found a person who was as enthusiastic about the idea as we are.
Okay.
Then again, we reached out to different mediums. There were quite a few people who were, helpful. They recommended people to us. So now we have a pool of 15, 17 people who are working with us.
Mm.
And yeah, it's a good mix of people from different backgrounds.
Okay. How crucial is it to have a technical co-founder in the group?
So, yeah, to answer this, we actually don't have a technical co-founder, to be very honest. All three of us are non-tech guys. It's just that Devanshu, he has a technical bent of mind. He has worked on some products. So we have Prashant. He is SG3 at Amazon, who is helping us out in, he's taking care of the entire architecture, and he actually helped us, setting up a proper tech team, and he defined the roles and responsibilities. So it is important, but see, if you are passionate about the idea, you will find a way out. Uh, I don't think it's like that necessary to find a technical co-founder. If you have a network of people who are tech oriented in your like entire network, that is good enough.
Okay.
But yeah, technical co-founder definitely helps. I'm sure it must be helping to a lot of other startups, but we are safe and sound as far as the technical help is concerned.
What are the different challenges that you have faced along the way while building and growing this venture?
Okay, so see, we faced challenges on a daily basis. The first, I think, the most like peculiar challenge for us during our initial days was always finding the right people for the right job. We relied heavily on third-party vendors. We lost a lot of time due to which the work which we got from them was substandard. It wasn't up to the mark. Also, there were a lot of financial constraints because of which we couldn't set our team in a proper way. It took us a lot of time to find the right people for the right job. Yes, last year, like we were ready with our MVP, but COVID happened, and our entire concept was people going out for
Right.
different experiences. So again, we have to reject our entire business model. But again, every challenge is an opportunity to. We have reached to a point now. We are equally, happy on being an online dating experiences as well as offline. So we also, tweaked our idea a bit. But
Okay.
we face challenges, all sorts of challenges on a daily basis. It's just a list of tasks which keeps on growing and every day.
Right. One when you start consumer faced businesses, especially the
Mhm.
ones which involves a app or a platform, what usually happens is for acquiring initial few users, you apply some growth hacks. So have you uncovered some growth hacks along the way which has been very successful for you?
Yeah, so like during our initial days, we uh, went out in malls, cafeterias, asking our users, okay, taking surveys. Then there were uh, a lot of times we used to ask our friends, okay, you have to bring in 10 new people. So this is how we have, build up our initial set of users. That's attracting users is not a major concern of us because we have Harshweet.
Mm.
I'll be very honest with it. Uh, he has a huge following on Insta, and we correct. So, as I already told, we are not focusing on bringing in more users right now. We are trying to achieve the product market fit. Once we achieve that, then probably uh, uh, the challenge of acquiring more users will arise. But we are pretty much sorted in that extent. I think we'll be able to generate users once we want to scale up.
Okay. Now, next set of questions will be around how does the personal life of an entrepreneur look like? So, uh, to start with, can you tell us what drives you to become an entrepreneur? Because you had a well-established career in corporate, so what made you jump and start something on your own?
Uh, see, it didn't happen. I would say it happened gradually.
Okay.
My father is a businessman, so I have never been risk averse,
Hmm.
and like I guess got bored of the PPTs
Okay.
I was making in my previous job. That's what, and I wanted to implement. I used I think I bring in ideas on the table. During my previous stint, those ideas they were not appreciated, or you can say they were not being worked upon,
Hmm.
since you are working in a bureaucratic organization. So
Right.
that's when I decided, okay, it's time to do something of my own.
Okay.
My wife, she also helped me a lot. So it was me and my wife who met on a dating app. So
Okay.
we knew, okay, and both of us, we faced the struggles,
Hmm.
similar sort of struggles, that we are just swiping in and out every weekend. And most of the times, whenever we used to go to date, I used to go to date, there was no common ground. There was always a deadlock. Luckily enough, I found my wife,
Hmm.
and it was the same story for her. That's how and why Mingout was born.
Hmm.
And fortunately, I got support of two brilliant co-founders, Devanshu and Harshweed. Both happen to be my IIM Calcutta mates. So uh, that like my wife, she pushed me. That's how it happened, and it's been 3 years now with shitloads of learning.
Okay. Also, can you shed some light on how does a work-life balance for a entrepreneur looks like? I mean, how many hours do you work every day, and what do you do when you feel lost or lose focus?
So there is no difference between professional and work life.
Hmm.
Like for people who are bachelor and they are like working on their startups, it's they are working on it 24/7. You are always discussing ideas. For me personally, I am quite lucky to get support from my friends and families to that extent.
Hmm.
My wife, my father, they keep on pushing me. There are days when things are and every other day you feel like, okay, what is happening? You are not feeling that good. You're not feeling confident. So what in those situations, I think there is no harm, taking a step back and giving yourself a day off.
Okay.
Spending time with your family is very important, and because your deep dark insecurities, you can only discuss with your family, and they ensure you that you come out stronger out of them.
Hmm.
Also, I keep running, which helps me get my mojo back whenever I feel low. So
Right.
yeah.
Can you tell us about one tough decision or choice you have to make in during your entrepreneurial journey?
Okay. Yeah, so my the most important choice or decision was quitting my job
Hmm.
and being on my own, because it was a side hustle which was going on for a couple of years. Then, like, I had to take that decision. No, it's time to be on my own and finally do what I actually wanted to do.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't have that financial security
Yeah.
that I can do all this on my own. It's just that like my wife, she gave me a lot of freedom. Okay, let's try it. So I think, yeah, leaving my job was the most important decision, because you are so used to getting a salary at the end of the month, and giving up on that, I think that is, stopping a lot of people to start something of their own. And trust
True.
me, since it has been quite liberating for me, to you can say quit my job and start something of my own. And now I see what all I was missing when I was working for someone else.
Mm. Okay. What is the definition of entrepreneurship for you? How do you define the term entrepreneur?
So, entrepreneur is, you can say, he's a hustler. He, uh, he, his happiness depends on the team, basically, how the team is feeling. And there's a vision which has been set, and like you tend to, move slowly towards it, that vision with people along you, and take pride in your team. You leave all your ego beside, and it's about uplifting the mood of the entire team with whom you are working to achieve a certain vision.
Okay. And the final question, what are the different lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur, which we can take away and apply to our lives and our ventures? And more importantly, we don't have to go through the same learning process that you have gone through uh, as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So the most important thing for me has been, persistence. It's been 3.5 years. Still, we are not even closer to daylight.
Hmm.
It's the persistence which is the key here. The idea never fails. It's the entrepreneur who stops, pursuing that idea. That is the failure from an entrepreneur's part. Again, I would see another major, you can say, lesson for me has been networking. You should network with people from all walks of life. Like,
Hmm.
I have friends who are like 15, 20-year-olds as well as 60-year-old.
Hmm.
And while networking, it shouldn't be a gain attitude. It should be a giver attitude. Like how you can help out the person whom you are networking with.
Right.
So, persistence, networking, keep talking to the end users whose problem you are trying to solve. And most important thing is empathy towards your team members as well as your users. So these are a few lessons which I have learned during my entrepreneurial stint. And persistence, yeah, just don't lose on any idea. You can always pivot. You can see, okay, if this is not working, maybe I tweak something and it might start working. So just keep on trying things, never quit.
Right. Well, at this point, I think we have come to the end of our discussion. Thanks for taking our time, Navdeep, and joining this session. It was a pleasure to host you. Our best wishes for
Thanks, Priya.
your venture.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, thanks, Priya.